at you from the Steel City. You're listening to Poor Man's Podcast, Pittsburgh's premier comedy podcast. Your weekly dose of humor, hosted by Chris Hopper and with a new special guest each week. And here's your host, Chris Hopper. Whoa! Whoa!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Poor Man's Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Along with me, finally, she's back. The beautiful Shaylee, baby. Shay, how are you doing this evening?
I'm just fucking happy to be here.
We're excited to have you.
Happy to have you back.
Oh, happy to
And
be
that
back.
voice over there, we have producer Cheech in the corner, in the producer booth all of a sudden.
Yeah, we switched it up this week.
New look,
I'm
so
loving
everybody
it.
watching,
I
hopefully
love
you
it.
noticed. And we're joined right off the bat by two new guests. We have Councilwoman Sabrina Miller and Jeremy Tiroff from Bellevue, talking all things Bellevue. So thank you for joining us tonight. I'm working on the little things with your names on it, so
You're doing great.
I'm trying I'm working overtime over here. I'm trying to get the we're working with some new things, but look at that. We'll start with the rundown. Shay and Cheech. I'm not used to you both being here. I'm so excited.
It's
Happy to have you
good.
back.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited to have everyone here tonight. We have a
That
big
was-
show. We also have Brittany, Alexis zooming in later, comedian. She's going to talk to us. I'm excited to talk to her. Everybody who we've had on, I always ask them to give us some info on who we should have on, and a lot of people have said
Everybody's
so.
had good things to say. Yeah.
Absolutely, but we are here today with Sabrina and Jeremy. They're going to talk to us about some of the stuff happening in Bellevue. There's a lot of stuff coming up, so can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I guess we can start in order.
Yes, please.
So June 18th would be the big Bellevue yard, so I think you should start there.
Okay, yeah, so the Big Bellevue yard sale is on June 18th. We are still putting that together. Right now it's a Facebook event. You can look it up on Facebook, and the idea is, I mean, really, we took the idea, the Mexican War Streets does one every single year, and they get people down there, and people are checking out their businesses, and they get thousands of people.
Yeah.
Thousands of people.
Yeah.
And they're from everywhere,
Mhm.
right? So there's no reason why we can't do that over here.
Absolutely.
And the idea, of course, behind it is the same as the idea behind the beer crawl, the same idea behind the wine crawl, is we show off our neighborhood, we show off where we live, and we show off the businesses here, and the people that live here, and everything else. And people can make a day of it. It's actually the same day as the anniversary for the brewery,
Right.
too, if I'm not mistaken. So the event's going to be, the yard sale is 9 to 4. We are getting people, are submitting their places for, to be vendors or selling their wares and that sort of thing. I haven't put together a flyer yet, so it's literally just a Facebook event right now. And I have to remember, not everybody has Facebook, so we're going to create a flyer and put it in everybody's mailbox and get people registered, and they can literally do that via my email, which I will give
Yeah,
out.
let me know, and we'll put it all in the info at the end, and I'll make
Okay.
sure any of the info you guys need to get out there, please let me know, and
Okay.
I'll just make sure I put it all in there.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm excited for all.
Okay.
I'm excited for all of these things. These are all great events, and it's not just a beer crawl is awesome, a wine crawl with the art crawl, everything. There's so much stuff in Bellevue, and I keep telling people who don't live in Bellevue how awesome it really is.
Right.
And with so many of the different things that you can do there, the farmers market is probably the best one I've seen in the area.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I mean, that's not one of the events we're talking about today, but it
Yeah.
does come back in June around the same time, and it lasts until October, but just correction. So June 18th, when the big Bellevue yard sale is actually the Jam Fest for Lincoln Avenue.
That's
It's not their
Yeah.
anniversary, but yeah, so you're right, there is a ton of stuff happening here. Bellevue is starting to come into its own, is starting to grow while staying true to what it actually is, which is okay.
Yeah.
It's not necessary to evolve completely to the point where you push away what makes a business what it is.
You forget what it started as.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
So doing events like this allows it. They're so different. Every single event is going to attract a different type of crowd, but it's also something that the people have been here for decades. can still enjoy, because they're all community-based events that people can enjoy, so it's great.
So you were saying there's the big Bellevue yard sale, and then there's the Rhythm and Brews.
Yeah, the Rhythm and Brews Festival is going to be...
Not that I'm trying to diminish any of them, but that's the one that sticks out the most to me.
Well, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And that's the thing, everything hits somebody. There are
Yeah.
people who don't drink, there are people who are are more family-based in the events that they attend, so the yard sale might appeal more to them. There's people who love beer,
Yeah.
and so the Rhythm and Brews...
I'm interested to hear what Jeremy said, because he brought some beers in, and a lot of them are beers that I've picked before for the show.
Yeah.
And there's some great picks, so I'm interested to hear how that works.
Well, so my idea in picking these. So first off, the event is Saturday, August 6th.
Okay.
It's going to be from 5 to 9. We are aiming for combining 13 breweries and 13 businesses here.
Okay.
So it's not a beer crawl in the sense that we're going to bus people to these breweries, which I've had people actually ask me. I'm like, no. It's going to be here. We're going to close down a section of the street. You go to different stops. You get to taste all these different beers. There's going to be tickets. And then the idea being Lincoln Avenue Brewery is going to close down Holly Street right there.
Uh-huh.
And they're going to have bands. There's going to be bands up at Revival, theoretically, I think. And so we want people to come here and try beer, but also check out the businesses.
Enjoy
that we have
the
here.
town.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff here that there's very unique businesses here. We do have our own brewery. We have an awesome restaurant up there. We have this live music venue and restaurant here. We have a yoga studio. We have a skate shop that people don't know about.
Plank guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. Hell yeah.
We have a pinball place.
Yeah.
What? I didn't even know that.
Right, dude. We went there for my birthday party 2 days ago.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's
a
been like-
is
Oh,
it like
happy
a
belated birthday.
Yes,
It's
happy
tomorrow,
birthday.
actually. But
Oh,
that-
you almost
Yeah.
it's like a big kind of just like I don't want to say it's just like an arcade
Yeah.
that's kind of empty with all pinball.
Right, but
I've
it's
heard-
not just pinball. It's
Yeah.
pinball. There's a pool table. There's a ping pong table. There's darts.
So I've heard of
There are,
that
like-
place before.
Yeah,
There's
There's
an
like
old
a-
school
sounds like a lot of
sit-down arcade
Yeah,
Pac-Man.
sounds
thing.
like a lot
And
of
like
fun.
Pizza Hut,
Yeah.
right?
It
Yeah,
does sound like a
dope.
lot of
And
fun.
Dope.
yeah, well, and they'll do a 5-hour block, and you pay like $15, and it's all you can play. And it's
What?
Oh.
Right. So
So
that's my point. You live here and you didn't know about it.
Yeah,
And he lives here.
We're, just so everybody knows, because I forgot. I'm not doing my due diligence. We're here at 565 Live in
565
Bellevue.
Shout
I live right in Bellevue. I'm, between here and there, I didn't know any of it. I knew some of it, but I didn't know this arcade,
Neither did-
pinball,
neither did
all
I.
of these things
Right. I
is
didn't know
right
that-
down the street.
I didn't know that when we moved here, and then I saw it, and I just randomly followed them on Facebook, and now they're actually putting things on Facebook to let people know. And we had a bunch of neighbors that we're both friends with, and they were there, and they're like, "We didn't even know this place was here."
Right.
Now you do.
Yeah.
So spend your money here and
Exactly.
do whatever.
Keep it in the community.
Right. So the idea is we're going to have 13 stops, hopefully. We're going to have 13 breweries. Right now, the reason I picked the beers that I did is because we have 3 confirmed besides Lincoln Avenue. We just started this process.
Uh-huh.
So we are going to be announcing more. There's a Facebook page for that, of course.
Yeah.
And what we're going to try and do is announce them as we go along and as we get them.
Yeah.
We are going to have different styles, so it's not going to be like 13 IPAs.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
going to be like
Awesome.
yeah, first come, first
Like
serve. I'm
that,
like,
yeah.
pick your style, and after after these styles are claimed, we're gonna ask for something.
So it would be in the best interest of any brewery that wanted to be part of it to jump on it early,
Right.
so they could pick their style.
right, absolutely.
I mean, maybe they're known for a pilsner, and then they're getting stuck with a stout that's
Right.
down the
Well-
line. So
well, and here's the
jump
thing,
on
too.
it, people.
Yeah, it's a
Jump on.
it's a brewery call. You're gonna have hundreds, maybe over 1,000 people here. Right.
Yeah.
And we're paying you for your beer. And you're gonna have it here, and they're gonna try it, and then they're gonna go check out your brewery, right? And we're gonna promote that on the event page and everything else, and it's mutually beneficial,
Yeah.
right?
Everybody wins.
Right.
It sounds
Yeah.
like.
Right, and we're gonna
Yeah.
have pour stations in there. So the breweries we have so far are obviously Lincoln Avenue Brewery, and we've got Dancing Gnome.
Oh, awesome.
I know, I was really happy about that because they're phenomenal. We've got 11th Hour,
Okay.
and we've got East End Brewing. So
Oh, those are all good. Those are all heavy hitters.
I know.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
We're so good.
Yep, we're still working on that. We're going to go to a lot of these breweries, and like I said, as we get them, we're going to continue to announce them. And a lot of the businesses we have involved we spread it out pretty well.
Mhm.
Tour station. Do you want to name some of the businesses?
Yeah, first I want to say this is the second time that this has happened before. This is an event that was created under the local community development corporation Bonafide Bellevue. So I think that they deserve a lot of credit for being I would say like the mothership organization that allows us and creatives in this space, in this neighborhood, to be able to execute these type of events. So, while they support us, it's the community that orchestrates and brings people together to put this on, but we do lean heavily on them for, funding of these types of things. So that's important to note. So this is the second time it's happened. The pandemic really did do a number
Right.
on
Yeah.
the events that we do here.
I remember getting really excited for
Yeah.
it, and then unfortunately, it was probably
Yeah.
in the best interest to not do it. There we go. I always forget we have sound effects. That scared me so bad.
Yeah, so
Be prepared all night.
I know.
it happened in 2019 for the first time, and then in
Yeah.
2020, of course, nothing was happening.
Right.
And then in
Right.
2021, we had enough bandwidth to do the things that we knew how to do best, and so that is why only the wine crawl happened, which of course we'll talk about next. But the goal of this all is to, like Jeremy was saying, is to highlight what we have here. So we do veer away from bringing in outside food trucks, even though we do see the value of adding diversity and bringing awareness to other small businesses.
Yeah.
We have so many restaurants here and so many businesses that people don't necessarily know about, like the Pinball Dojo, like Valkyrie Donuts, which is new and they have an amazing following, but they're new to this. They're new to the main street, so it's really, and it's such a diverse mix of businesses too. So we have a funeral home turned fine dining establishment.
It's so good there
which
too.
is amazing. It's amazing, and it's run by people who live here too, which is incredible. Like, these are small businesses. These aren't like niche or like this isn't like you're gonna stop in at the Wendy's. There's nothing wrong with Wendy's. But these are like
I have a bone to pick with that Wendy's. We won't get onto that on here.
Everybody.
But specifically that Wendy's. Specifically that Wendy's.
I love when Chris comes out of nowhere, like, I got a fucking problem.
Oh yeah, no, we'll talk about whatever, and then like the most obscure part, I'm gonna have this rambling on thing. So yeah.
No, that's a universally known.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Everybody here hates Wendy's.
That Wendy's.
That
Wendy's is the
See,
worst.
that's how I feel in Beaver Falls. I hate that Wendy's. I'm down for every other
Maybe
Wendy's.
it's just
I would
everybody.
buy that one.
Yeah, maybe.
Go to any fast food place on that trip in Beaver Falls. Ever.
The McDonald's ain't bad. I'll tell you that. The McDonald's is not horrible. The Wendy's is.
Ladies and gentlemen,
fucking
stop to
whack,
Beaver
though.
Falls for McDonald's after the beer crawl.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't ever stop in Beaver Falls after the beer crawl.
Oh, why? It's such a nice town.
We won't.
Oh, it's fantastic! You really want to go see the homeless and the heroin addicted whites walking down the street.
Oh, Lord, that sounds like...
But I'll tell you where you don't see that. I'll tell you where you don't see that, and that's at Bellevue. So come to Bellevue. That's God, am I a pro?
We're talking about
That's
Beaver Falls,
I
not
know.
Bellevue.
I know. To contrast that, let's get back to the wine crawl coming up
I've
instead
heard
of
a
the.
lot of people talk, like, I really didn't know much about Bellevue. I lived in North Carolina for a long time, and I, like, really never traveled
And
out.
you never heard of Bellevue there?
No, I never heard of Bellevue there.
Not surprised.
And then when I came here, I like starting, hanging out with Chris and stuff. I realized that it was so nice, but you don't realize how many people know Bellevue and love Bellevue that don't live here.
Yeah.
Like people that I talk to, like out in Beaver,
Yeah.
That's a new thing.
they
The
love
place is
Bellevue.
dope.
People
Yeah.
love Bellevue.
That's a new thing.
Like-
That's been gaining traction big
Yeah.
time.
Well, it's going.
Jeremy, how long
well.
have you lived in
People love
Bellevue
it.
So I moved here in 2018.
Okay.
And it was my wife's idea.
Okay.
Because I had a sister that lived in Avalon at the time, and one that lived in Ben Abbott.
Yeah.
So we were looking in this area, and we landed on Bellevue. And it's funny because I'll make it quick, but the thing that actually convinced me to move into the house that we ended up buying was beer.
Oh, really?
And it's not because I was drunk and signed a contract, but like my wife watches a lot of HGTV.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
she's,
love that shit.
Me too.
dude.
Honestly,
Me too.
Time, yeah.
So
it really
now,
makes me feel bougie. Like I might do something.
now is like, I'm a real estate agent now. I wasn't then.
Okay.
Now
Yeah.
I like understand a lot of things better.
Yeah.
A lot of that is bullshit.
Oh.
Where does everyone on
I-
Love Your List to get these budgets, man?
No,
I'm a
it's
beekeeper.
stupid.
Oh my God!
I got
I'm a
half.
stay-at-home mom. Here's $1 million.
I got
Yeah.
halfway. I'm not gonna lie. Last year, I work in a restaurant. I'm a chef. I got real pissed off at my job. last year I made it halfway through my you know, you have to the stuff before the
process?
test. Yeah.
The real estate test.
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
I got halfway through the whatever it is, the pre-test, going through all this stuff. And I realized that there was a lot of bullshit in there. I quit and I realized that I should just keep cooking food. But I realized, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of stuff on those shows that's
Correct. And so we didn't know that then, right?
right.
And I wanted stuff that was like, hey, we don't have to do a lot of work, because if we're going to do work, who's going to do work? Me, right?
Exactly.
So she kept taking me to dumps, like terrible places. Like literally, there was one where we're walking through, and every bedroom had at least 3 or 4 mattresses on the floor, and there was a padlock on a door on the exterior, and I was like, we have to leave.
Of each bedroom?
No, just the one. So I was like, we have to leave.
Okay.
We have to go. And she's like,
Get it.
I don't know, I like it. And I'm like, we're never going to
I don't know, I like it.
It's quaint.
All right.
So,
I'm out.
she sent me.
There's a pit in the basement that you could throw the little dog in. Right out of Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sounds like my childhood home.
Aww.
So she sent me
Trauma.
the listing, the Zillow listing for the house she sent me one for a house, right? And this was after like we had one that was really adorable, move-in ready, and like a ranch because I'm 10 years older than her, and I'm like, I'm not bad knees before you.
Oh, I love ranches.
Yeah.
You know, and
It's not about it.
and she's like, she picked it apart.
I like a cake
But then she'll
pod.
look at those, right? So she
Right.
sent me this listing, and I'm like,
With a barn.
and I looked at it, and I scrolled through the pictures, and by like picture 2, I was like, fuck no, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely not. And she's like, and I was like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, this is terrible. And she's like, it's a 4-minute walk to a brewery that's going in. And I was
Oh
like,
my
Yeah, man.
all right, we can check it out.
Yeah.
Let's drive by.
Yeah, I was like, we can check it out. And I even sent it to our contractor.
That's what it
He's
looks like.
Don't buy that house. And drove past and said the same thing. But then we went inside of it, and we fell in love with it, and now I'm probably their best customer.
Yeah.
4-minute walk for me right to
Yeah,
the brewery.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, it turned out great because we are in such a wonderful neighborhood. Like I talk about it all the time. It's fantastic over here. That's why we're doing this.
That is one thing I will say as a Bellevue resident. It's awesome to have all of these businesses in walking distance.
Yeah. That and just like it's good people. It skews younger but like younger people that still respect the people that have been here a long time.
Huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, and like it's just I've never felt more at home somewhere. So when we can do events like this that bring outsiders here, because I was like, why are we moving to Bellevue? And now I'm
Right.
like, I can't imagine living anywhere else.
Anywhere else, yeah.
And I'm like, great, let's get more people to find out about this place and get more.
How did you get, so like you guys, both of you or just you were in charge of like this whole event?
I defer to Sabrina.
Right.
She's
So I was one of the coordinators of the first event, and so it came about because it mirrored the wine crawl, which it says existed. This will be the 8th year that the wine crawl has happened. So the beer crawl is something that mirrored that, and so I'm the coordinator of that event. We decided, myself and 2 other people, which include Chris Driscoll, who's one of the owners of Revival, and Grant Saylor, who's one of the owners of Lincoln Avenue Brewery. We're the coordinators of the first Rhythm and Brews event in 2019. So that it's still under Bonafide Bellevue, and that is how this whole thing came about. But as a council person, as somebody with managing another neighborhood in the city of Pittsburgh, like 2 kids, like I can't do every event. I can't be the coordinator of every event.
Do you volunteer, or they're just like, this is gonna be good for you? You got this.
No, I sort of just take charge and say like, I know that, and
I know I can do
That
this.
I tell everybody that if Sabrina puts her name on it, it's gonna get done.
It's gonna get done.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've never
It's
seen
gonna get done.
anybody work harder
Yeah.
than you. It's awesome.
That's why one thing, if Sabrina ever says she wants to come on this show, I make room for it, because whatever she says, she does it right, and like I completely put whatever my word is worth, I trust her.
Put it on her, yeah.
There we go. There we go. Now let's get into the art and wine crawl.
Yeah.
So we have time.
For sure. So this year I'm super excited. So 2021, we made one event happen. And I knew that, similar to what you were saying, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So I had about 5 strong people who were like, okay, let me listen. It was a lot of discord and chaos because there were a ton of people who had never done this before, and so there were a lot of new ideas where the goal was to let's just get it done. Like, let's just mirror what's happened before. This isn't going to be the greatest one yet. That was my thinking because of, just the time constraints. We did that one in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
It ended up being the best one that I've ever experienced. We switched the time, so it usually happened in the summertime, but we ended up doing this one in the fall. Turned out amazing.
I was there.
There's not a lot to do in that season, so
Well, I feel
that's
like people are
awesome.
more comfortable too. It's not so
It's
so
not so
hot.
hot.
And everybody can kind
You're
of hang
comfortable
out.
walking around,
Yeah.
enjoying outside.
It's
Walk-
nice to have it brisk
You're not
out when you're
traveling.
drinking publicly. You don't want it to be hot.
You're already gonna be hot.
Yeah.
I think that beer is a little bit more refreshing in the summer.
Yeah.
Whereas drinking a ton of wine and walking around and it's July.
Can
and
I
it's
go
Yeah.
home?
not the
Here's
thing.
the summer thing.
You're like a brown bag away from being put into the cups. Like,
Here's like your cookouts and your ball games.
Yeah.
and that
Like
sort
your
of thing. Whereas
summertime.
wine is like fall and fires. And
Right.
Yeah, so
You want to be a
there's-
little warm on the inside.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing that the pandemic did do was it helped us think differently and more creatively about that event because it's the only one that we were doing that year. So this year I'm excited because we are going to be partnering. This is the first time. It's the first time in a while, but we're going to be partnering with Narcissi.
okay.
Winery. So
Yeah.
They'll be our local winery. So I introduced last year because Pennsylvania, just to be quite frank, it's not when I talk about Bellevue, I'm probably always going to say something positive. A, because I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
And also because I'm a council person who lives here.
Yeah.
And, I work here. All those types of things. But realistically, Pennsylvania isn't known for it's not known for its wine. When you have wine and you go to Erie and you go to Narcissi, it's the experience that's also making the wine really good because you're there, you're there in those places. So last year it was introduced to do not just local wines, but to incorporate national and international wine selections, which we thought diversified it and allowed people to, when you do the wine, I think when you do the beer crawl, you're sampling things there are beer connoisseurs, there are.
Yeah.
But when you're a wine person, you're a wine person. So the wine is either good or it's not.
Yeah.
And so you want to have a mix, and I think that our local wineries should be supported, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
We also want to do a mix of really good wines from France and from New Zealand and from California. And so we are going to do the same thing again this year. So we'll be partnering with Narcissi. The committee this year will be going to do a tasting soon. Jeremy is also a part of that, as we seem to work really well together.
We're part of all three of them.
Yeah.
To varying degrees. Your running point on that, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So this is the third year that I've coordinated this event. And I think, so it is going to, like I said, the wine crawl was the blueprint for the brewery crawl, and it's going to include an array of different types of businesses that stretch along Lincoln Avenue that allow people to experience our businesses, go inside of the businesses, and then they also experience art throughout the entirety of the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember you telling us last year with just the local vendors and the local wine. It's a good thing. That's one thing we really strive to do on here is push the local ones. We do a local beer every week, and the local we're always trying to push the local businesses. So we love seeing that. Because there's a lot. I mean, people buy Miller Lite and stuff, but there's really good. There's actually
Really
good beer
beers
around here. You don't have to leave the city for a dozen good breweries.
Right.
Yeah,
I
and
agree.
Narcissi, for those who don't know, we tell people about that and they're super excited.
Yeah.
It's a great winery. I'm not a wine person, I'm just slugging beers, but I know Narcissi is good.
We're an alcohol people. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, Pennsylvania's not.
Non-judgmental
As
around
long as
here.
it gets you to the same place, it's all good.
Yeah.
But Narcissi is when we scored them, that was a big deal.
I mean, quotations, scored them, that just says a lot right there.
Yeah.
So, that's
for
awesome.
sure. And the businesses that are involved too. There's overlap on some, and there are going to be some that are exclusive to that. But I want to say too, a lot of the businesses have been very, very awesome about wanting to be a part of it. And I can't wait for people to see some of these places because people don't know about Valkyrie and people don't know about 1867 tattoo, and
Yeah.
that shop.
I was trying to go over there today to get my second hole in my nose, and they were closed. I was upset about that.
Just call them or do whatever. Like
Yeah.
they're
Do you think if I call them after the show
No.
tonight, I'd be like, hey, I'll give you $150.
Hey, no.
And-
I'll pierce your nose right now for a
Pierce
tenth
it
of that.
right live on whatever, pierce it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'll
Bro.
fuck it.
Just on the
Yeah.
on the down low.
Yeah.
Let's get a shot from upstairs. Where's
I've got
the?
somebody on the inside? So. Oh
Oh, shit. Do they? So I gotta ask because I don't know much about them. They do traditional over there. They have a traditional
everything.
guy or
They-
girl.
they have-
or,
They have incredible artists.
Right.
Incredible artists.
They-
And they're also like, so James and Casey, married couple, they started that place, and it took a while because they started when the pandemic literally just happened.
Yeah.
And they've worked their asses off to make that place something, and they've added great artists. And if you don't follow them on social media, you absolutely should. If you
I
want
will
to see their
hit
work,
them up as soon as my phone is off
Instagram,
one of these tripods.
Facebook, all of it. Like those,
Yeah.
you will see, and you'll just be like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Like it's breathtakingly good work,
Yeah.
and not just good work, but they're also like the nicest
Good people too. That's hard to find sometimes.
Oh,
in
yeah.
tattoo shops, man.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you
It's
get
hard to
the-
find
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
For
yeah,
real.
but I feel like especially shops, so like you get those dudes that are like, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't want what they do. Or
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
you-
that's
so-
exactly
I mean,
right.
you want to support local business, but you also want to support local businesses where like the people are really nice, and that's
Yeah,
another
exactly.
benefit of the businesses over here is like the people here are just wonderful. Like
Basically.
Grant and Lisa, who own the brewery, they live here, and they're part of the community, and they're the nicest people ever.
Yeah.
James and Casey over at the tattoo shop, the guy who owns, I don't know his name, the Pittsburgh Smoke Shop.
Yeah, so
I
I,
was
think that
just
it's
there last
super.
week.
Alex.
So I think it's super important to note that it's great. Like, but the point is, there's a mix of different businesses
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So you
all
have
sorts of things.
you have Mark Helwing, who has literally he's started this. He was
He's
the first
awesome.
pour. We're here right now.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He's he's been here forever. The people who were here 40 years before we were born are still here today, and it's important that they know Mark.
I'm
from
like
when-
only 20.
from when he. All right.
Take that beer out of
I'm
her
like
hand.
way
Same.
younger than you
Shit,
guys.
you're not 20.
Like way
God.
younger than you guys.
So yeah, when we talk about the businesses who were here pre-pandemic, I think one of the most impressive things to note. So I had a meeting with Town Center Associates, and they figure out like the marketing of communities and like
Yeah.
what we can do with retail space. And I worked with them under Bonafide Bellevue, and they also used to work with the borough. We have had such an influx of new businesses, especially from people who are between the ages of like 20 and 32, who have started businesses during a pandemic and right following a pandemic, because we know we have the sauce, we get it, we understand how to market because we grew up in a social media era.
Yeah,
so when
yeah.
you talk about like new businesses that I really want people to see, we're talking about like the Closet PGH.
Yep.
We're talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
their brother shop. Well, it's not their brother shop, but they are brothers. Alex over at Pittsburgh Smoke Shop.
Yeah, yeah.
You're talking about Ariel at Maxwell's. You're talking about all these businesses. Like, so it's a mix of like, it doesn't matter the age, it's about the tenacity. And so
Oh, yeah,
it's
for sure.
really great to see
If you have a motor or
people
not.
get into these businesses and see how they've survived and see that these are real people who live in and outside of our community too, but they care about the community because they set up shop here. And to
Yeah.
set up a brick and mortar location anywhere means you
Yeah.
really believe in the community.
For sure, anyway.
Especially
yeah.
during the pandemic.
Exactly.
I mean, you really got the confidence to do that. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Good
Another
for
one
them.
to mention
real.
is Jordan Tombs, which has been very active, and they haven't even opened yet.
Yeah.
They've been extremely
Yeah.
active. They were in they were involved in many of the events that we still held, like Light Up Night and the Wine Crawl, just by setting up a tent and
Yeah.
like letting people know they were there. So it's great. That is the point. The point of the events is to have a fun experience where people can experience this borough. They can decide whether or not this is a place they want to live, work, or shop,
Yeah.
or play, or all of those things, and they get to see what experiences they'll have if they do.
Yeah.
Like make this a place that they call a space that they're comfortable with.
Where can everybody find all this stuff? Are you able to tell everybody the info if anybody wants to search for any of this?
The yard sale already has a Facebook page.
Okay.
You would just search the Big Bellevue Yard Sale, and you'll find out ways to sign up for as a yard sale host or a vendor. A vendor would be somebody who's not selling traditional like wares. They'd be like we have a little girl who's going to do a lemonade and cookie stand.
Yeah.
You know, some things like somebody who's going to do comic books. Like
Yeah, my best friend's
specifically.
selling comic books.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
It's like, can I put my comic books in front of you?
Yeah.
Put them in front of my house.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Facebook, Eventbrite, City Paper, all those things are going to start to come out. This right now is sort of a first.
Oh,
a
it's
first
exclusive.
look at
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Heard it
this
here
is,
first.
this is
Yeah.
everything.
You heard it here first, folks.
Poor man's podcast.
Everything that we're talking about here is, I mean, we're just starting now.
Yeah.
We're being proactive with it. We want the word to get out. We want people to be excited for it, and we want people to tell other people about
Sounds like a Poor Man's Podcast exclusive is what you're saying.
it. Yes, yes, absolutely.
That's exactly what I heard.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to rush through that, but we do have to touch on some of the beers of the week, and then we have to touch on the stuff to do in Pittsburgh before we get joined by Brittany Alexis later. So, let's get into what was I doing? Cheech, do you want to tell us about your beer of the week?
Yeah. Let me grab it.
Or you know what? Or Shay. Oh my God, I'm just calling you Chandler.
Yeah, Chandler, what do you want me to do?
Well, tell us each about your beers, and then we'll get into
Oh,
that.
my beer's gone. So I got.
I know.
I have Modelo's. You could have had one of those.
I've actually have had the slice before, but it was what was it called? Rhubarb.
Yeah, so you had the other slice that was also 11th Hour Brewing.
All I know is that it was slice that had it had pink on the front, not purple.
Yeah.
But today I got slice blueberry peach. Never would have thought. It's absolutely delicious. It's definitely gone. There's probably a swig left. No, it's super good. I like whatever he picks these up for me. These are good beers.
Good. There you go. Cheech, what do we have?
Is that 11th hour?
Yeah.
It is 11th Hour.
11th
Oh,
hour
beer
is
crawl.
sick. Yeah, I had an 11th hour sour. I think last week. Is that correct?
We went 11th Hour. We did the Paper
Maybe 2
Bird
weeks
one.
ago?
We did
Oh,
this
no, it
partly
was the Paper
claddy
Bird,
one
you're
from East End. We did a lot of these
Yeah.
that I'm seeing right now.
I have. It's called White Lightning from Full Pint, 6%. It is a Belgian style white ale with spices.
With spices.
How do you like it?
Spicy.
What are your thoughts, Cheech?
It's pretty tight.
Yeah.
It's pretty tight. I think I already have a rating for the.
Oh, I forgot about the ratings.
Yeah, I think I already.
Shay,
have-
are you familiar with the rating
Are you
I
system?
am familiar with the ratings.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Let me tell everyone my beer, and then we'll get
I
into it.
yeah. I
Because
know.
I already have
I know my
the
rating.
the clip art ready to go, and I can't go back now. So I have Vista Hopper for obvious reasons. Chris Hopper.
What's that mean?
Funny.
It has my name on it, so I put.
Oh, what's your name?
We're trying real hard to get a Hopper beer at one of these places. If Lincoln Avenue maybe can do it. If not, we're gonna reach out to the Log Yard. Also, there's a Poor Man's Brewing it like outside of Philadelphia. I've been following this
Okay,
Pennsylvania.
so if we
I'm
don't
very
go to
excited.
visit- So we need to go there.
Yeah, it's like outside of Philadelphia. It's in the east
It's
end of
not
Well,
Pittsburgh.
like, that's not going to be
Or not
far.
east end of
Log Yard,
Pittsburgh.
We'll drive there. No, it's kind of far. It's like not if I'm driving.
Oh, I will 100% drive. Like,
No,
it's fine.
I
You
would
could
drive, and
actually-
I'll get us there in like
But we
3
can all
hours.
drink if I drive.
You could
We
actually,
can all drink if I drive too. I just bought a new car.
you could talk to them about, like, hey, we have this podcast, can we do one there?
I
And if
asked.
it's near
Yeah.
Philly,
Here's Chris.
ask them what they
Here's
what they
Chris.
think.
They,
actually is
I
in
tried to buy a couple beers from them, and they don't have anything on the west part of Pennsylvania yet. So I was trying to do that. However, we are talking to Log Yard Brewing, who's another one. They're in Kane, PA.
Yeah,
They,
Kane,
they
PA.
have really awesome beers. They actually dropped off some more beers that we're probably going to taste next week. But we're working on doing a live show from there. But yeah, we're trying to hit all these breweries. But that Poor Man Brewing, I guess there's like a Pennsylvania like March Madness kind of brewery thing. And they're one of the finalists. So we'll see if they
Obviously,
make it.
they have our
I
name.
think that they'll make it.
Chandler, I'll tell you what. Let's get into the stuff to do in Pittsburgh real quick.
Can you tell us about your beer real quick?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Well,
just
we-
gonna skip right over that.
No, there's
All
we have
cared
a lot.
about was that it has a name on it.
I know.
I'm gonna rank it. Let me taste it again.
And we're sipping.
We didn't rank any of them. Yeah.
I know. I'm ranking
Mine's
this
a-
one.
Oh, okay.
Mine's like the cool.
This one is
What, yours is
out of bounds.
Shay is Flavortown. You're
Shay
out of
Flavor.
bounds.
Out of what?
You're out of bounds.
Delicious.
Is out of bounds is just below.
Out of bounds
Flavortown,
is
right?
2-star.
No, what's a third? So
Shut the front door.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut the front door.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Anyway, here's things to do in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. No, we had to get to it.
Hey everyone, it's Liz from Stuff to Do in Pittsburgh, and this week to tell you some of the best events happening in Pittsburgh this weekend. Let's kick it off with an event for all of our wine lovers at 23rd and Vine. You can come sample all your favorite wines, eat some charcuterie, and listen to live music. It is going to be so much fun. Now, if you want to get some shopping on, the Emma and Jane shop is having their spring market, so you can come maybe get some Mother's Day stuff, maybe shop for yourself. Keeping along with the theme of shopping, the 8th annual Vintage Pittsburgh Retro Fair is also happening this weekend. And this one, we're definitely going to be there because there is going to be a bunch of local vendors set up at the Heinz History Center. You never know what you can find. I always like going to these vintage shops because you find the best things. If you want to have some laughs, head over to Hop Farm Brewing, and they are having a night of comedy and, of course, delicious beers. You can try some IPAs, some ciders, some ales that have a little bit of everything going on. So head on over there. Or, if none of these interest you, don't worry because we have even more in our weekend guide. So head to our weekend guide for info on all of these and more. See you guys.
Well, there you have it, everybody. The lovely Liz from Stuff to Do in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
They always do a good job. I thought it was funny. The last one they picked was the one from Hop Farm Brewing, the Barrel of Laughs one. One of the comedians on that is Brandy Alexis, who's coming on in a couple minutes. But they have Marcus Cox is going to be on that. Ed Bailey, I think Izzy for Real. There's some good comedians on there. And Hop Farm is such a quality brewery. So I definitely recommend that. That one sticks out the most to me out of all of them. Shay, anything stick out to you? There's a wine tasting.
Yeah, I know. I love alcohol.
I'm pointing out the...
I love alcohol. Yeah.
I feel like me and Chris pointed this out last week, if not the week before. There's always something to do with drinking.
Oh,
there's a wine crawler.
Yeah. Oh, there's
wine
more stuff
crawl.
to do.
But that's not a bad thing.
No,
It just means that they're available.
I fucking love
That they're trying to reach
I
out to
love
all of
drinking.
us.
Like, those are the
Oh,
things that
yeah.
I want to go do. You know what I mean?
I
I can
agree.
imagine that most of the city feels probably the same way.
I agree.
You're in
I'm
Pittsburgh.
with it.
That's what I mean. You
Yeah.
know, like that.
Pittsburgh is a
that we
drinking
fucking
town.
drink here. Like
Yeah.
it just is what it is. And if you're with it, then you're with it. If you're not, then oh well. You know.
Right.
So, anywho.
All right, Cheech. Let's. We're gonna take a break in a couple minutes because we have a tight schedule.
I
to
have
keep
2
with.
questions.
What? Okay. Do it.
One, can you guys tell us what you're drinking?
Yeah,
Oh yes.
I'm gonna go for it. WITTE. I'm gonna assume that's wheat.
I said witty. In my head, I said witty.
Wheat.
Oh,
I think
oh
it's
yes,
wheat.
okay.
That's Easton
With that
Brewery.
accent, yes.
And this is from Easton Brewery, and it's a 5.1% Belgian wheat ale. I think it's great. I'm more of a all-day hazy IPA type
Type
beer
of-
drinker.
yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
Okay.
That's Easton.
I literally we had that as one of the beer of the week like 2 weeks ago.
Wait, can we
'Cause that's
can we
good.
can we explain the Richter chart real quick and maybe have that
Oh,
right there?
you know what? If I have
Oh,
one of
I
these,
can't remember it.
if I have one of these set up,
If you have one set up, if
yeah,
not,
here.
you can explain.
I'm gonna work on this. Chandler, explain it to him, and I'll
Okay,
work on the
So
multimedia.
if you didn't listen last week, to anybody listening, me and Chris started the Guy Fieri Richter chart to rate our beers of the week, right?
Nice.
So it starts at Gangster. It goes next to, what was it? Out of Bounds?
It's coming up right now. Out of Bounds is number
There
10.
you go. Okay, so Chris, go ahead. And,
Gangster number 1. So all of them, all the beers are good that we have usually.
Yeah.
Sure.
But we're trying to separate like Michelin star.
The
It could be a
man-
Michelin 1-star Michelin chef. It could be a 3. You're very talented either way, but there's a difference.
but there is levels.
So
to
right
this
here,
shit.
if you've ever watched Guy Fieri on anything, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, he always uses these compliments. But I
Yes,
think there's a
always.
difference. There's a hierarchy. So number 1, just breaking through, we have Gangster. That's Gangster.
Yeah,
That's a good
it's
thing.
just Gangster. It's good.
It's good. That's what you want. You
top
want to
of
be
the
Gangster.
line, yeah.
Number 2, we have Out of Bounds. That's a little bit of a step up. And then keep on working. We have Shut the Front Door.
Yeah.
And then obviously,
where I was at with my beer.
Yeah.
It's got to be a 3.
I was at Out of Bounds. And then Shay's at the Pinnacle, Flavor
Okay,
Town.
it was at
Oh, my beer was.
So
fucking
Sabrina and
sus.
Jeremy, if you
Where
had
would
to
you
rank
put
your
your
beers
beers?
right now on the Guy Fieri Richter scale, where do you go?
All right, and because I'm more of a what partly cloudy,
Partly cloudy.
partly cloudy.
Cloudy.
Okay.
Glad.
Yeah, come on, Sabrina. Where's that?
I'm from
This
Detroit.
guy's
I know.
No, I'm from Detroit and we don't do that. So, but I'm gonna do it tonight. So because I'm more of a partly cloudy type person. The beat is okay, so I'm gonna do. So
Yeah.
it's okay. So
You're
I'm
go-
gonna do gangster.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is that the
All right.
lowest?
Okay.
Yeah.
Gangster.
It's still
Gangster's the lowest,
good.
but it's still good.
Yes, yes.
Right,
It's
right.
always
We wouldn't
good.
have garbage beers on here.
Yeah,
So
all of
So
these
if you
are
get
good.
gangster, it's not. It's believe me, it's a compliment still.
You are a 1-star Michelin chef. Would
Yeah.
never give my left nut to me. So like,
Yeah.
okay, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Okay. And Jeremy, did you get?
So because I am a beer fan, I already finished my first pounder and I'm 2/3 of my second pounder.
I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
I don't fuck around.
Yeah.
Try them both.
We're gonna get to know Jeremy a lot better after the
Drink
show.
with you, brother.
Oh, no, you don't.
Sounds like a challenge.
I do.
You're,
It's an experience.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
I was gonna say.
She's like, we don't want to talk about
Sabrina's
it.
husband
Continue
is,
with your beer.
has drinks
Just
with
stop
me.
encouraging him.
The last 2 times Sabrina's husband has had drinks with me, he hasn't been okay the next day. I'm out working.
The last time that I had drinks with you prior to your birthday, I was not okay.
Yeah, no.
His birthday's tomorrow, by the way. I don't know if a lot of people know
I
that.
feel like I can hang. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm a crafty veteran. I'm turning 45. I've been doing this a
Yeah.
long
See,
time.
but I'd like to match.
All right,
Continue,
It's
continue,
cool, it's cool.
continue,
Yes.
please.
So I started with the Dancing Gnomes Marbled Hearts, which is an American cream ale. And I like cream ales, even though cream ales sound weird.
Yeah.
They're actually like a very sweet lager, right? But not overly sweet. It was very good. It is Out of Bounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's a good
My
rating.
memory is so bad, I forgot what we were doing, and he said it was out of bounds, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah. So
dude, my mind just doesn't stop. It's a burden, I promise you."
I believe you, I know.
my preference is the hazy IPAs, and East
That's
End's
the way I go. I like a New
Yeah.
England
has the
IPA.
partly cloudy.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to expect, and this is actually a shut the flavor count. Right.
Oh,
Oh, it's like a medium
It's
plus.
Like, it's like a 3.5 out of 4.
It really is.
I'm
I
here
could,
for that.
I could drink
Yeah.
this.
I appreciate the creativity.
Yeah, I do too. I like that.
Yeah.
I could
like
drink
that.
a lot of these and not be okay the next day. For sure.
I
So-
feel that. Yeah, I heard that.
I
That
tell
was
you,
only one of my questions. by the
Yeah.
way.
Oh, yeah.
I
That's
had
it.
two.
What's
Yeah, but
the
I-
second one, by the way?
yeah,
Really quick.
make it quick.
Fast.
What's the tattoo on your arm? Because I want you to tell me what it is so I know how off I was.
Which one? Because there's several.
Yeah, the one I'm
he's-
pointing
he's
at,
got-
that one.
He's got a few.
This? Oh man, that's a Bernie tattoo.
I fucking knew it! I literally, this is me. I'm like, that's like if you hold your arm down, so you know it's upside, down. Yeah.
Down.
Kind of looks like an elephant with glasses.
Yeah.
Then I went, that's Bernie Sanders. I fucking know it is.
Well, I'm not gonna get on. It ties into a lot of other things, but yes, yeah, that's what it is.
Or it's an
Love
elephant
it.
upside down with glasses.
No. No, fuck that. It's Bernie.
Fucking A. Love it.
Chris,
Yes.
I have one thing.
Yes.
I do. And we
Go.
talked about this before, about the Easter egg thing that I went to plant with Poor Man's Podcast and the Rhythm and Brews Festival.
Yes,
Are you going to set up during the festival?
we would
Yes.
love to.
Yes.
We would love to.
That's an immediate
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
answer is
He
yes.
has no
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Listen, if Chris doesn't do it, I think me and Shay might just show up and be like, hey.
I think
you know,
Chris will be there a little bit.
We
He'll
will
be
represent Chris.
I'll be
in
there.
this,
No, that should absolutely.
I think
happen.
it would be absolutely fantastic.
I would love it. We would be honored to do
Yeah.
that.
I think it would be-
Absolutely.
That'd be
So
awesome.
thank you so
I
much.
love
Sure.
it.
So here's the great gap that we always have. It's right in front of the elementary school.
It's like the right place for us,
Which
you
is
know?
completely closed during.
Yeah, it's Saturday, right? Yeah.
I was gonna say.
No, just-
Capture the feelings of, you know, and the vibes of like everybody asking questions and just do a special
And just
show
intro with we're
during
in front of Bellevue Elementary. Fuck yeah.
live from Bellevue Elementary.
Oh, yeah.
Bellevue's Rhythm and Brews
I mean-
brewery crawl. So, yeah.
That sounds great. Well, I would love to do it. I'm sure these guys will love to do
Oh,
it too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That sounds like a fun
Absolutely.
time.
For sure.
Great idea.
So we will definitely do that. We'll work out the details.
Hell
But yeah, we're down. We're down. Absolutely. And thank you so much for coming on and telling everybody
Thank
about
you
this.
very much, guys.